Hello friends, my name is Fylgja and today I'm going to draw for you. Alright, it's been a while since my last drawing and I know some of you are here, well, most of you are here to watch the videos about the things I write at my blogs. But once in a while I like to share with you my artistic works. Now, I wanted to make an experiment. Usually I have a previous idea of what I'm going to create. Most of the time it's something related to my dreams, but this time I had no previous thought and I wanted to listen to a type of music and enter in the mood and create whatever came into my mind at that moment. So I was listening to dark folk ambient type of music with the type of atmosphere very much connected to Norse mysticism, and this was the first thing that came into my mind. Now, as you can see in here, I jumped a bit because drawing hair is a bit boring to me. Honestly, because I'm not good at making hair. I don't have the patience really. So the hair of this figure is done and let's move on. As I was saying, I entered in the mood of Norse mysticism and this drawing is actually related to Norse mythology, as it happens. When I was finished, I ended up calling it Fylgja. Well, a Fylgja is a type of spirit that accompanies a person, usually the kind of helpful spirit that protects the person, but it's also related with magical and spiritual work. Usually the Fylgja transforms itself into an animal. That's the form it takes to walk in the mortal realm. So you see, even with my artistic works there is always something to learn in the field of Nordic witchcraft and spiritual practices. Okay, so the first thing to come into my mind was a woman, but not just any woman. It was the one I usually dream about since I can remember. A very beautiful, mystical, sensual, kind and caring. And obviously came into my mind wolves. Wolves are the first animals one thinks about when speaking of such subjects. But wolves have always been in my dreams, vivid dreams. I myself become a wolf and sometimes a wolf-like creature. It's a wonderful sense of freedom mixed with uncontrollable hunger and rage and lots of blood, but the sentiment is always of pure wild freedom. Well, speaking of wolves, did you know that from my mother's side, my grandfather's side to be more precise, their coat of arms had a white wolf? Some say it's a fox, but that tail isn't from a fox, nor the shape of the head. So, well, right, a woman. I've made a picture of her in here, the best I could portray her. But I've added something that she doesn't have in my dreams, jewelry. And in here you can see that I'm going for the jewelry in her hands. I gave her a very bohemian style because I find that style extremely sensual. It's a mixture of gypsy with hippie but fashionable, not some pox-faced drab selling turnips in a medieval fair. Anyway, the bohemian style, I think it's one of the best styles for women because it shows a very free kind of soul. It's sensual and it gives the impression that a woman can finally be seen the way she is after centuries of being ostracized and being covered, cloaked by the dark velvet mantle of Western society. I find it extremely sexy, the bohemian style, and fresh, free and clean. It brings out the women's spring mood. So now I'm covering the background with acrylics, shades of grey, a very stormy sky. That's the kind of image it comes into my mind when entering the Norse mystical atmosphere. Storms, snows, mists, rain and thunder, and the howling of wolves. And women, mysterious women, sensual, powerful and magical, luring me into this limbo. Well, mind me, limbo in a sense of ecstasy, trance-like scenery, not Dante's first circle of hell where the pagans that existed before Christ live. Well, that actually makes sense. That's the kind of hell I wish to live in. And creating the moon at this point, I know it's a cliché, but the moon always adds more magic to the already existing magical atmosphere of paganism, and linked with wolves makes perfect sense, to me at least. And a spiritual bird, because a Fylgja is never enough. There are many Fylgjur. The Fylgjur are also connected with a person's personality, and this kind of mythology goes back to ancient times, more tribal and more spiritual, of each person having a totem, an animal figure attached to the person and with which a person lives its entire life according to the animal's attributes. Alright, making the last details and heading rain. This figure is in a sort of trance-like state. She came out of my dreams and I can only be with her behind closed eyes. Well friends, I hope you have enjoyed this video and thank you so much for watching. And of course, see you on the next video. Tack för idag!